September 2016. A Jeep Grand Cherokee sits in a driveway in St. Petersburg, Florida. Inside, a brand new Galaxy Note 7 is charging. Suddenly, the interior of the car erupts into a ball of white-hot fire. Within minutes, the vehicle is a charred skeleton. This wasn't a localized problem. On a Southwest Airlines flight, a phone began emitting thick green-gray smoke while the plane was still at the gate. Passengers panicked, scrambling for exits.
We are doomed!
In Brooklyn,
It's happening
a
again!
6-year-old boy was rushed to the hospital after a Note 7 exploded in his hands while he was watching videos. For years, the tech world asked, how did the world's most sophisticated smartphone manufacturer turn a flagship device into a literal grenade? Samsung spent $5 billion trying to bury the answer. But today, we're digging it up. From the Project Zero boardroom to the microscopic failure of lithium-ion chemistry, this is the definitive autopsy of the Galaxy Note 7. To find the spark, we have to go back to the beginning of 2016. Inside Samsung's digital city in Suwon, South Korea, the atmosphere was electric and terrifying. Samsung was losing ground. The smartphone market was saturating, and rumors suggested the upcoming iPhone 7 would be a minor update. Management saw a window of opportunity. They codenamed the mission Project Zero. The goal? Build the most beautiful, powerful phone in history and launch it a full month before Apple to capture the entire fall market. But there was a catch. Engineers were told to cram a 3,500 milliamp-hour battery, the largest ever for a Note, into a body that was significantly narrower than the Note 5. They wanted the impossible curve, symmetrical glass on the front and back. Internal memo simulation. We are behind schedule. The production line must move faster. The battery density must be higher. We cannot delay the August launch. Pressure like this in engineering is a recipe for disaster. When you push the limits of energy density, the margin for error drops to zero. Let's talk about the science for a moment, because this is where the Note 7 was actually born to die. A lithium-ion battery is essentially a chemical bomb that we've trained to behave. You have a positive cathode and a negative anode separated by a thin, porous plastic sheet. If that sheet, the separator, is breached, the energy doesn't flow through your phone. It flows into itself. This is called a short circuit. Within milliseconds, the battery temperature spikes from 100 degrees to over 1,000 degrees Celsius. This is thermal runaway. Once it starts, you cannot put it out with water. It will burn until the energy is gone. In the Note 7, that separator was thinner than a human hair. Samsung was playing with fire, literally. When the phone launched in August 2016, the reviews were glowing. It was called the Phone of the Year. But 17 days later, the first photo of a charred Note 7 appeared on a Korean forum. Then another. Then a video from a YouTuber. Samsung's internal investigation was frantic. They initially blamed their subsidiary, Samsung SDI. Their theory? The battery casing was too small for the internal jelly roll. Imagine trying to fit a size-large person into a size-small wetsuit. As the battery charged and naturally expanded, the upper right corner of the battery was being crushed by the phone's curved frame. This pressure pushed the electrodes together, causing the first wave of fires. On September 2nd, Samsung made a move that was praised as bold, a voluntary global recall of 2.5 million devices. They told the public, it's a manufacturing issue at one factory. Our other supplier, ATL, makes safe batteries. We will replace every phone. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief. But the nightmare was only beginning. October 5th, 2016. Southwest Airlines Flight 994. Brian Green had picked up his safe replacement Note 7 just days prior. He turned it off, as instructed by the flight crew, and put it in his pocket. Then he felt a searing heat. He dropped the phone on the carpeted floor of the Boeing 737. A thick, acidic, pea-green smoke filled the cabin. The phone burned through the carpet and scorched the subfloor. This was the moment Samsung's world collapsed. The safe phones were exploding. The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission stepped in. The FAA banned the phone from all flights. If you were caught with a Note 7 on a plane, it was now a federal crime. How could the replacements be worse? Samsung launched a second investigation, larger than the first. 700 engineers, 200,000 phones. They found that in the rush to manufacture millions of replacement batteries at the ATL factory, quality control had vanished. Tiny burrs, microscopic shards of metal from the welding process, were left inside the batteries. These burrs would slowly pierce the insulation tape, leading to, you guessed it, another short circuit. But the most damning evidence came from independent labs like Instrumental. They found that even without manufacturing defects, the Note 7 was designed with zero margin for error. Most phones leave a 10% gap for battery swelling. The Note 7 had almost none. Simply putting the phone in your back pocket and sitting down could provide enough physical pressure to bridge that gap and start a fire. On October 11, 2016, Samsung did the unthinkable. They killed the Note 7. Not a recall, a total permanent discontinuation. They sent out recovery kits to customers, thermally insulated boxes with ceramic fiber paper and blue gloves. It looked like something you'd use to transport nuclear waste. The financial toll was staggering, $5.3 billion in lost profit. Their stock price plummeted, losing $18 billion in market value in a single day. But the brand damage was worse. Samsung became synonymous with explosion in late-night talk show monologues and internet memes. Samsung had a choice: abandon the Note brand forever or prove they could be trusted. They chose to fight. They built a massive battery testing facility. They implemented the 8-point battery safety check. They started X-raying every single battery. They even invited their fiercest critics into their labs to see the process. The Galaxy Note 8, launched a year later, was the most tested phone in history. Samsung survived because they realized that in the world of high-tech, you can't bypass the laws of physics for a marketing deadline. We spent weeks researching the internal engineering documents for this story. If you appreciate this level of deep dive, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. It's the best way to support independent tech journalism. The Note 7 wasn't just a failure of engineering, it was a failure of corporate ego. But look at your phone right now. Every safety feature it has is likely there because of what happened in 2016. My question for you: do you think Samsung is now the safest phone brand because of this trauma? Or do you still have doubts? Let's talk in the comments below.